y'all, it's Susie. Welcome back to my craft room. Today we're going to work on Collage Masterboard and some paper snippets. They're kind of one and the same. But anyway, so what you're going to need is, just a piece of chipboard, from your packaging. This was from a cereal box. And now pizza box works great if you want to make a great big one. I actually have a journal in mine for this, and so that's what I'm going to do. But I want to encourage you to save, even the side pieces of your boxes, the flaps, if they don't have the big wads of glue on them, save those because they make for great embellishments. So I just want to give you a heads up to save, a lot of everything, or not a lot, but save some of everything. So I'm going to just work on one at a time. And all you do, if you've never made a collage masterboard or even just a collage, is you want to just tear your papers up, in pieces if they're not already torn. Hopefully you're using your scraps. And if they're great big, I tore them up. I did leave a couple of big pieces that I kind of want to emphasize in my piece. But I went ahead and inked them up so that, I wouldn't waste just endless amounts of your time watching me tear pieces and ink up. These are some book page and just some copy dyed papers that I went ahead and inked up to have ready. So again, you didn't have to watch me, do all that for an hour. I've got a little edge here I wanted to cut off, just kind of trim up a little bit. Not that it's absolutely necessary, but anyway. And while we're doing this, I'll kind of give you an update on what's going on with me. I know, I've gotten a couple of private messages asking, how I was doing and things like that. So I have an update. I did have x-ray done yesterday. Okay, anyway, get your Mod Podge, your, PVA, whatever it is that you use. I'm using my homemade Mod Podge. So I just kind of needed to mix that up a little bit. And I probably have it too thin, but we'll see. But anyway, when you're doing a masterboard, you can use, quite a bit of book page and copy dyed paper. In your paper snippets, you don't want to use too much, maybe some little pieces here and there, but for the most part, you want to use your decorative pages and things like that. And unless you have something, more plain in mind. Yeah, this is pretty thin. All right. So anyway, I'm just going to put my Mod Podge down. And, it doesn't have to be globbed on, but you want it generous enough so that by the time you get 2 or 3 pieces down, it's not all dried up. And some papers, of course, are thirstier than others, and it'll soak it up a whole lot quicker. And so what I'm going to do, that is decorative paper, believe it or not, it just doesn't look like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start laying down some pieces. And the order in which you do it is not necessarily important. All mine are just kind of matchy papers today because they came from the kit that we've been working with. And again, all of these ideas are inspired by Gi Kerr. These, came from her, inspired by her videos, which I'll, of course, link below in the description. But just start placing your pieces down. You don't want to necessarily have, the same colors right next to each other. But you can, just put down whatever pieces you want to. Because I'm telling you, whatever you put down is going to look nice. It will. In the end, you may not think it does while you're doing it, but in the end, it's going to look really, really nice. And I actually brought along 2 pieces, the front and the back of the box, because like I said, I have a journal in mine. A pizza box, a big pizza box, like if you buy one of those large pizzas at the grocery store, work really good because they're usually big enough that you can cut down into a journal size. And, you want to keep putting your Mod Podge, if you're going to lay pieces on top of other pieces, which is ideal, then you want to, put Mod Podge on top of those so everything sticks together really, really good. I'm sure most of y'all already know that, and I'm, you know, telling you something you already know, but, you know, just in case I have some new folks in here that don't know, I kind of want to cover everything. All right. And remember too, if when you're doing this, if you don't really like the looks, you know, at the end, and you think, gosh, that looks terrible, just keep going with it, because, you know, you can always use gesso, or, you know, distress inks, or whatever, to kind of change up the look. So don't let anything discourage you by any means. Just, you know, keep going. Like I said, there's, you know, there's no mistakes that we can't adjust with. So anyway, I did go for an x-ray yesterday. You know, I've been in excruciating pain. I fell twice last week. I mentioned that. And the doctor still wouldn't let me come into the office, because here in South Carolina, we still are, our numbers are going up every single day instead of down, which is very, very discouraging. And our governor has just been an idiot through all this. He was one of the last places to shut down and one of the first places to open up, and, you know, he didn't bother meeting the CDC guidelines before he started opening everything back up. But what can you say, you know, I mean, anyway, so she did send me for an x-ray yesterday. I went and found out that my hip socket is broken, and there's absolutely nothing they can do for me. So that was special. So anyway, it's they wanted to put me on some, you know, heavy duty pain medications, which, you know, first of all, I'm allergic to most of them, and second of all, I'm not going to take anything that I can become addicted to. So it's going to be kind of just tough through the pain, take it easy as much as I'm willing to. It's very, very difficult for me to stay still. You know, I already suffer, you know, with chronic pain prior to this, and so, you know, just to lay around is not a possibility for me. My back and stuff just won't let me do that. But anyway, everything is going to be fine. You know, I'm a tough old bird. Just can't get me down. You know, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. You know, just, I may, you know, be going a little bit slower. I may not be able to put out the videos. Of course, I'm really behind now, just because of all that I've been dealing with for the last week. Also, I had to sell my house last week, which was very, very difficult for me to do. I did not want to do that. This is the only home place I've really ever known, and that was not something that I really wanted to do, but, you know, the Lord has a way of working things out, right? And so I'm just trusting Him in all this. I always have, and I always will. So He hasn't let me down so far. All right, I think I want to put, I really wanted to put it over there. That's okay, I'll put it on the next piece over there. I got to talking and forgot where I was or what I was working on, but anyway, I'm just happy that, you know, it's no worse than it is. I'm excited about, you know, my channel. I'm excited about being here with y'all. It thrills me to be a part of this community. It thrills me that, you know, so many of you are following me and enjoying the videos. I wasn't sure that anybody was going to like them. Again, it's been such a privilege to honor Gi. Unfortunately, like I said, I've gotten behind on doing that. I'm sure she will understand. Of course, she'll probably never see this, but, you know, I'm sure she would understand. But anyway, we plug along the best we can, right? So tell me what y'all have been up to, you know, what's everybody working on? You know, are y'all kind of following along with me, doing the same things, or are you just kind of working on your own thing? You know, let me know what y'all are working on. What y'all, you know, are y'all just crafting? Are you journaling? You know, kind of what are y'all working on? You know, what kind of videos would y'all like to see? I know there are so many out there by so many great artists. But, you know, is there something that you would like for me to cover in particular? You know, I love every aspect of this, and so, you know, if there's something that I can do that y'all would just like to see, I would love to do it for you. You know, I haven't had too many questions. I got a couple, you know, through private message, but for the most part, you know, everybody seems just to be saying that they enjoy, you know, what I'm doing, and they enjoy kind of crafting along and seeing how I'm presenting Gi's things. I'm going to get back to my beginner videos, I hope soon. Right now, I just kind of need to, you know, get adjusted to everything that's happening with me and, you know, my situation. The people that bought my property wanted me to out by July 1st, and you know, I said there was no way, you know, that I could be out that quick. I don't even have any place to go, to tell you the truth. I haven't, you know, I wasn't expecting to sell, and so that was, you know, kind of a quick little thing for me. And then now that this has happened, I don't see how I could possibly move. I mean, I can't even pack up boxes. So, all right, so there is that one. That went together quickly, very quickly. You just want to make sure that your pieces are stuck down real good. You know, especially if you kind of throw them in a box like I do, or a tote or whatever, and they get kind of curled up. Sometimes they don't lay down on your first little shot through. But anyway, that's how that piece looks. And I'm going to go ahead and show you a snippet. This is the side of the box, you know, where the front and the back go together. So when you do a snippet, like I said, you can use, you know, book pages and your coffee dyed paper. And this is actually kind of wide for a snippet, but I could use it for tags, or for tucks, or for belly bands. But I'm actually, you know, my purpose is to use it for a snippet. And snippets can be any size you want. They can be, you know, wide, they can be narrow, they can be, you know, however you want them to be. I'm going to start in the middle with this one. Like I said, there's no right way and no wrong way. You just put it down, and when it's all said and done, it will look great. I think that piece is too big. What's this one? Let's see, I don't want that box under there to show. And with this color, it wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't have a problem really if the box showed, you know, if I missed a spot and the box showed. But if you got like a stark white piece of paper, you probably don't want to do that. I'm trying to avoid tearing and inking. While I got y'all here, I don't really want to waste y'all's time doing that. Now, I'm sure, you know, most of you know that distress inks are intended to be moved with water. And so when you put these down and you're going over it with your Mod Podge, sometimes the inks will kind of run a little bit, and really that just helps with the aged look. You can distress at the end, but when you do, it's hard to get in all the little nooks and crannies, so just kind of be aware of that. So you may end up with some white edges and such, but I actually don't mind if it, because to me it kind of fades it out a little bit, and I like that. I like that, you know, the distressing, because sometimes I'm a little bit heavy-handed. Well, actually, about all the time. I'm very heavy-handed with my inking, with, you know, my gluing, with everything. You know, I just think if a little bit's good, you know, a lot is a whole lot better, right? Anyway, I'm going to have to get me a sip of my tea. I'm about dried out this morning. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, So I'm just going to keep going here. Now, I don't know if you recall or not, but that was just a piece that I was stamping on to show y'all some different effects. And it really, really, really looks good as a scrap piece. Also, another thing that we could do is take, you know, any of the napkins, like if you got some really pretty, you know, decorative napkins, you can, or even just the napkin backs like we talked about before, you can stamp on those and place them over the top. It will mute down your colors a little bit if you need to do that. There are so many different things that you can do. And you know, once you have your papers torn the way you want to, and you don't have to tear them, you can cut them. If you like the nice even edges, you can actually cut your pieces. I like the torn look particularly for what I'm going to use this for. You know, I like that torn distressed look because I'm kind of going for a vintage or an antique feel to this. I am not running low on scraps, I'm just running low on little tiny pieces. There we go. So, that was a snippet, and I didn't use any book page or coffee dyed paper or tea stain paper. Although that looks like a piece, it's not. It's a piece of the pattern paper from the kit that we've been working with. So now I'm going to try to move this aside somewhere and let it dry. And I'm going to go ahead and put this other piece together. I'm going to turn it this way because I want to remember to put this on here. I think I want that on what's going to be the front of the journal. Whew, let me get a little set. Thank you. Sorry about that. For those of y'all that are not in the United States, in the South, we have traditionally, traditionally drink sweet tea, sweet iced tea. It's really kind of a southern thing. It's becoming a more and more northern thing too. I remember my dad's side of the family is from the north, and I remember as a kid going up there, you know, to visit my grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins and what have you. And you know, the first time that I can remember going out to eat with my grandparents, you know, myself and my brothers and sisters ordered, you know, sweet tea. Well, the waitress brings our tea out, and it is hot tea. And we're like, what is this? I've never seen it before. Didn't even know it existed. And it's tea. That's not tea. So we went back and forth with that for a little bit, trying to figure out, you know, what this was. Well, we told them we wanted, you know, sweet tea, and my dad finally explained to them we wanted iced tea. Well, they didn't have iced tea. So then we had to order soft drinks. Let's see, they call it pop up there. Coke, Pepsi, you know, things like that. And to drink because they didn't have the sweet iced tea up there. And then, oh, I don't know, it was several years later, we had gone out to eat again, and I ordered, my brothers and sisters learned a whole lot quicker than I did, I suppose, because they went ahead and ordered the Pepsi, Coke, whatever. And hard-headed me, I went ahead and ordered sweet iced tea again. Well, the waitress brings out the iced tea, and she plops down this container of sugar. And I said, what's that for? She said, you said you wanted sweet iced tea. Well, here's your iced tea, and here's what you make it sweet with. Okay, well, you know, once you get iced tea, once you put ice in it, it's very difficult to get sugar dissolved, and you end up using like half of the great big old thing full of sugar to try to get it sweet. It's like, well, that didn't work out so well. Um, so I learned real quick. Well, it wasn't but a few years ago. I was up there, and I had gone out to eat with my cousin and such, and I asked the waitress what kind of beverages they had, and my cousin just said, "We do have sweet tea up here now." I said, "Is it iced tea?" She said, "Yeah." And so apparently it's caught on up there, and so sure enough, more and more places that we went, I was able to get sweet iced tea, so I was excited about that. But I know, I see a lot of YouTube creators on here, drinking hot tea or referring to their hot tea. And it kind of makes me chuckle about, my experiences as a child and not even knowing what it was. And apparently a lot of people drink it. Even in the United States, I guess a lot of people drink it. And I just never knew it because we just didn't do it in my house. And I've tried it. I'm not, crazy about it. I guess it's kind of, I guess what you're brought up on and get used to. Well, how's everybody, faring with the lockdown? Are y'all starting to come out of it? Whatever state or country you're in, or are y'all starting to come out a little bit? Or I guess most people's restrictions are being lifted, which I guess in some cases is a good thing, in some cases is a bad thing. But we're going to pray for the best for everybody, right? Just pray for the world right now. It's just unbelievable that we've actually seen something like this in our lifetime. I mean, who would have ever imagined? But, I've seen a lot of goodness come out of people that, had been lost for a long time. People being neighbors again for the first time in years, and, learning who their neighbors actually are. It seemed to be kind of a lost art there, is, being a good neighbor. And I've seen a lot of great stories on the internet. My personal experiences have been that, my neighbors have been checking on me where they never had before. I've seen a lot of good. You hear a few bad stories, but for the most part, the crime has been way down. People have been behaving themselves pretty much. I mean, of course, you always have the ones out there who, no matter what, are going to act crazy. But, for the most part, I think it's been good. I know there's been some domestic violence going on, but, I've heard a lot of great stories about how families have learned to be families again, and how people are eating together for the first time in years, and everybody's not just kind of going their own way. And, I think that's great, and if we, look for ways to make the best out of a really, really bad, weird, just a bad, weird situation. I mean, it's, that's a good thing. I grieve for all the people that we've lost. It's so sad. I mean, all over the world, we've just lost so many people. And that's just sad. I'm hoping that they find a cure, a vaccine, good treatments, everything for this very soon. The whole world needs to come out of this mess. I know it's going to be, a long time before I'm able to, go and do, just because of, me being such a high risk. But, I didn't really go anywhere before this whole pandemic. Of course, it's, it's difficult for me to go. And so, I can't hardly get around. So, this wasn't like a new thing for me. The hardest part is being told you can't do something, I think. And I think that's, weighed on a lot of people's mind, is not that they really had any place that they just absolutely had to go or be, but just that they were told that they couldn't. I think human nature kind of tells us, well, don't tell me I can't, And, but people have adjusted well. I know, I've seen reports and, heard, my friends talk about whenever they've gone by, like the home improvement stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, places like that. They've just been packed just day after day. I've seen it, on the news. And so apparently people are working in their yards, fixing up their homes. I've heard how, Walmart and other places are completely sold out of craft supplies. So I'm hoping that's a good thing. I'm hoping more and more people have gotten back into crafting. I'm hoping, that people have gotten their children more involved in crafting. I think that would just be a wonderful thing, because again, it's time spent together. For some, it's time learning a hobby. And I'm just really excited about that part of it. Like I said, this has been a very, very, very costly lesson to the world. But we've got to find the good in all of this and to stay positive through all this. Okay, well, I am coming up on about time for my camera to shut off, which I'm almost done. So how about that? I think I might make it on time today without being rudely cut off. So when this dries, I'm going to come back and do part 2 and show you what we're going to do. I don't know if I'm going to be ready to cut this up for a journal yet. I might. But definitely how we're going to use our snippets. I mean, because that's going to take some time. I don't know. I've probably got 6 or 8 projects of what we're going to do with our snippets. So even if I have to cut this up, it's not like I can't make another one. So whatever we need to do is, we're just going to have fun together. How about that? Because I love, love, love doing this, and I love talking with y'all and being with y'all. It's just great. Now, I do find, by the way, if you ink up and you kind of give that ink a chance to dry before you put this on, it absolutely helps with it not running so much. So, if you do like I do and you ink your pieces up, all at one time, and then just kind of let them sit and dry for a little bit. Alright, again, check around the edges of your pieces. Make sure everything is down pretty good. If you got some bubbles that you can work out or creases, now would be a good time to do that. Some you'll be able to get out and some you won't. Uh-oh, that's sticking up pretty bad. But, if you try to take, a card or something and run over it, you're going to rip your pieces up. Alright, yeah, I am pretty thrilled with the way that looks. What do you think? Like the way that looks? Okay, so just keep, making master boards, papers. You can use your regular copy paper, because once you put all that Mod Podge and all these pieces on there, it really thickens it up nicely. Makes for great pockets, tags, tucks, covers, maybe if you double them up or something. The inside covers of journals. So just, and make snippets. Make lots and lots of snippets. You will enjoy using those. And I'm just going to continue on maybe making a couple of other snippets. But I'm fixing to get cut off. So I will see y'all in a little bit. Until then, bye.